When Hindus come to know the realistic purpose for the formation of the democratic country of Bharat, the basis why India stood on the science of the universal laws, just like the United States of America was formed on the principles of the laws of nature and nature's God, which has been spoken by John Adams, who was a nature god, the Hindu Dharam. He's talking, and there he explains the nature god. That nature god is Om. It has to be understood very clearly. Now, if you do not trust, just check out yourself the U.S. Declaration of Independence. Go into the Google search and read the very second line, that how the United States of America was founded on the principles of the laws of nature and nature's God. The Hindu science is the reason for the foundation of the United States of America, because Christianity was doing too much harm to the public. For example, I'll give it to you. In around 1700 years ago, a violent mob of Christians entered in Ram, which is today called Rome. The name of the country was Ram. And Hindus were giving offering of food to the deities, statues of their gods and goddesses in Ram. And these Christian mob came, they were given permission to practice their religion. This is what the weakness of Hindus are. When they take 1 inch, they start taking hundreds of inches, and then miles and years, the whole land was taken away. This is what happened. They went into the temples of Hindus in Ram, which is today called Rome. They start breaking the statues, just like the way they did it in Egypt. First, when they were in Egypt under Theophilus, under Bishop Theophilus, they burned the library. What is that called? Alexandria Library. Alexandria Library was burned by the mobs, Christian mobs. Now go around 300 some AD, they call it, if you calculate in the time of Jesus' death and how these mobs were organized about. It took about 300-400 years after Jesus was hanged on the cross to organize this mob. And this is how ruthlessly they start killing and murdering the people who believed in the natural laws, astronomy, astrology, as Vedic science, numerology, and all those kind of things. And those books were there in Egypt. Egypt was called Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia, all this Iraq, which is called Babylon, and all these areas was part of one civilization, Hindu civilization. Like in Macedonia, which was Greece, Yugoslavia, and all this, where Pythagoras and all those people had come, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. There were schools where Plato were called academic school. About 2,350 years ago he came. And he discussed all these science of the moral immorality. Bhagavad Gita science. Now, for example, Pythagoras is speaking about the science of as long as people of this world continue to murder their two most benign friends, the cow and the bull, they will perpetually suffer the karmic reaction in the form of catastrophic wars, criminal violence, population explosion, famine. And Bhagavad Gita tells very clearly, and this is what India has to understood, that if they continue to permit against the laws of nature, against their own India's constitution, they are going to sink this country with a lot of rapists, a lot of problems, a lot of wars within the country. They need to solve the problem within India. Rather allow these people to come and thinking that the money is coming from foreign countries. In fact, the money is leaving from India by the conversion. Now they have to understand why I said the money has been really funded out from India, has been taken out from India. Gold has been taken out from India. And the poverty is sinking in India by these missionaries. And that's a factual statement I'm telling you. This is a characteristic of these people, biblical ideas. Now, if you are pushing this kind of ideology, this man should be arrested who is trying to force somebody to file a case that he's interfering in the conversion. You're not going to allow people to become dogs in next life, because the consciousness, when it is changed, it alters that source nature, and it has to such bodies which are more suitable for their purpose, their needs, their habits, and things like that. For example, if you continue to eat animals, like what the Christianity teaches, so is Islam. These are all very bogus ideologies which are waste of time against the humanity, and they must be stopped. Now, I already told you in Egypt what happened when they organized. There was Hypatia, one of the astronomers' daughter, hardly 21-year-old, who was giving the discourses on astronomy and mathematics and all this thing. Her name and fame was rising, and she was a real beautiful lady, young, who was attracting many audiences in her discourses, astronomical, advanced mathematics and all this thing. This bishop told the Theophilus, his name was Bishop Theophilus. Bishop Theophilus alerted this Peter the leader, and he sent his mob, all of those criminals, ruthless murderers, and while she was giving the discourses among the public, that young, beautiful Hypatia was pulled out from the public and was taken to the church. There Peter the leader took a stick, what they call club, and hit on her head this young 21-year-old Hindu lady. And she was murdered instantly. And what this mob, these criminals, what they did, they took those shells, you know, the one you find in the ocean near the beaches and all this. And they took the shell and rubbed off her skin and all this and fed it to the birds. This is the criminal. Is this what you want India to become criminal, cruel to humans? And when you are cruel to the animals, you are going to be cruel to the humans also. Now this mob is after burning library because it did not match up with their Genesis, which was Moses' book about 3,200 years ago. It is called the Old Testament. The Old Testament of Moses, they wrote some of the most outrageous, stupid, ignorant ideas on the creation, that the earth was made only 6,000 years ago by some imaginative Jehovah. This is Moses did also, 3,200 years ago, 1,800 years before Muhammad, before Islam. So 3,200 years before Islam. All right, you understand this? First understand the years and dates so that you don't get confused. Now, 1,800 years before Muhammad, which was about 3,200 years ago, this Moses started doing all enka-panky against the natural laws of nature, and he wanted to become prominent, so he declared himself Messiah. And this book, I'm not going to go into details. I've given you these information, how Moses was raised by Hindu dynasty, Sun dynasty of Egypt, King Ramji the second. And then thereafter was born a natural boy, because he was an adopted boy. This Sun dynasty, Hindu Sun dynasty did not have any child. And this baby Moses was put in a basket by the mother in a river, and there they found this baby near the pond of the palace. I've given you this information, so listen to the previous audios. Well, what happened? He became a supervisor later on of these Hindus who were building temples, pyramids, and all this thing, and he misled them to show the light at the end of the tunnel. Means a chosen land, because people are working very hard with chisels and hammers building temples. There is not a temple, Abu temple is still existing. You can go and see it. Why pyramids have statues? They don't believe in statues. All these things, statues building, temple building, and all these things are the part of the Hindus. And naturally they were working hard and all kinds of, with chisel and hammers and scorching heats and all this. The work, any work is hard, regardless which work you choose. Whether you work with the mind or whether you work with, everything has pressure if you start thinking that way. So when he was a supervisor, was called the Prince of Egypt, he took advantage of these people. The Hindu people were misled because he was a prince, and naturally he could misguide anybody with his authority as the supervisor of the construction. He was overseeing this construction of building pyramids and Hindu temples. That's all he was doing. Now understand what I'm saying. He was jealous of his younger brother, who was very nice. His name was King Ramji III. So he thought that he would not become the king of Egypt because a new brother was born, natural brother was born later after the adoption of Moses as an infant. His mother had swam him in a basket in the river to be found by the queen of Egypt while she was sitting with her maid near the pond. Well, anyway, those are the history, and here they go by crossing the shallow river of Nile River. Nile River divided between Israel and Egypt, this other side, and this was all vacant land, Banjar, nothing. All he told before he left, he asked them to burn this everything, cows, they used to pray, sacred cow. He even killed 3,000 Hindus who were worshipping cows. This is how I started the whole murdering system. And then he said, thou shalt not make an image. The reason why he said, thou shalt not make an image, because he hated the image making. Because this is the reason why he said. And from that onward, the destructions of the images start taking place. All the ancient history started getting wiped out under the order of Moses. What he did, how to get rid of the Hindus, the nature worshipper, the one who believed in this, there is one place you can go into Bible and you'll find out the answers. You have to understand their psyche, their mind. In the Bible it says, Moses is telling his people that now you all take, according to your household, the number of bulls, goats, cows, whatever animals, according to an hind of wine, and then you will cut the throat. He's telling his Yahudi people, the Jews, and he says that you take the blood after you slit the head of an animal and put it on your doorpost, and on the night Jehovah, on their sacred day of the Jews, would pass in the land of Egypt, which is imaginative. You see, well, we want to see that this is Moses telling his congregation, and he's telling all kinds of bull stories, imaginative, making fool of the people who were going to be converted to become Israelites. This is how so that on the land of Egypt, on the night, Jehovah would pass and would make the distinction between the Israelites and the Egyptian. You understand how the war started? Understand the roots of the history. Roots of the history started against the natural laws, and they were called later on pagans in about 170 years after the formation of all these schools. What the name of the school is, let me remember, Oriental Studies Department by Max Muller. He was also a German Jew, was expert in Sanskrit, but later on he realized his mistake, what he had fiddled around by changing so many interpretations, by putting wrong interpretation, adding many stupid things in ignorance in Vedic science. That was the purpose of the Oriental Studies Department under McLooney, who was a minister and was funded at Oxford University. This is what they were doing. And from there, this British East India Company which entered, there was a Jew from Portugal. He headed to England, and there he met with some of these boys who were interested in making money and take a control on the economy of the world. And then they formed what they call the British East India Company. And there they went and did all kinds of manipulative activities, make Indian kings fight with other kings, and the monkey kept on gaining the lands. This is what today India must learn, these kind of tricks, what they have been doing to you all. Since 1947, these people were funding all this thing, the deep state, the shadow government behind, who were twisting the arm to take over again the control. In 1947, Churchill told very clearly that we would come back. The news media was installed and continued to speak against the Hindus. If you go and see, many anti-media in India still exist, and those were funded from overseas, how to topple this country. And this is what they are doing through Christianity by these blind church court judges who have become senseless, not knowing that the purpose of this country is on the basis of the Sanatan Dharma Hindu science. And this has to be emphasized by everyone. I've given you the scenario of these people, what their aims are. They're aimless, useless, waste of time. These are not the religion. These are absolutely against the laws of nature. And this has to be stopped because Bharat, democratic tree, which gives fruits and vegetables and shade and one sunlight, under one sunlight, has its roots in Sanatan Dhanam, natural laws of universe, where you get the freedom to do things, freedom to speak and freedom to grow. And these judges are interfering in the freedom to speak, and they must be pulled out from their cubby holes and taken into reprimand. They must be put into mental asylum, because you heard Verma, how he took the money. Crores of rupees were burnt in these jute bags, and yet nobody is looking into it. The outside war is not this much dangerous what the inside wars are going in India against India's own democratic system. And slowly they are gaining, not slowly, very fast, they are gaining territories. There are 9 states in India which have become majority of these people. It has to be stopped, and they have to be brought into senses that they cannot murder helpless, defenseless animals and force you to eat animals under biblical ideas. If you go back to the history, there were kings in India where the British boys were forcing them to eat animals. And these sickos have to be trained now that animal eating is against the consciousness. And they must be trained that the life comes from life, an eternal soul, meaning, and what is the eternal soul purpose. And they must be stopped on the basis of bodily platform that I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, or I'm Jew. This bodily designation, and each one has a different twist in their ideology, but the basic system remains the same, that the earth is flat. Now if God has created this universe 155 trillion years ago, and he knows very well what is the ingredients, what is inside and outside of the building, he is the creator. So is he going to tell something different? Now you start thinking positively on this issue, because your hell is 100% guaranteed if you don't listen whosoever is helping their mission. Because I'll tell you why. This universe time frame is 155 trillion years. Take it and understand this. Even this was confirmed by Dr. Carl Sagan, NASA space research astrophysicist, world-renowned famous person who wrote the book Cosmos, C-O-S-M-O-S. He very clearly stated that after his extensive studies on modern time frame of this universe, we have come to the conclusion that it corresponds with the Hindu Brahma time scale. And the Brahma time scale has been told in the book Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 17, that how one kalpa is, when you take the calculation of total yugas, there are 4 yugas, and then you multiply by 1000, and the time frame. I'll give you one example. You can do and have your children learn this science, so that you can tell them, don't make food out of us, because the universe had been in existence 155 trillion years, and the total time frame of the universe is 311 trillions 40 billion years. 311 trillions 40 billion years. So where these fools, or where in the equations of the time frame of the universe, these ideologies which emerged out in last 3,000, 2,000 and 1,300 years, where do they fit? They don't even fit. Trillions and zillions of humans have passed through motherland while they're going to wait for Jesus Christ to give the answer to save. What the problem with these people in this planet Earth? They cannot even understand the very basic understanding. This universe has been, these planets, 9 planets, which include the Mother Earth, they are absolutely round, not eclipse, not elliptic, not in any different shape, not flat. They have to be absolutely round balls. And those round balls are moving around the sun, but these idiots tell that no, the earth is the center of the universe and this sun is moving around the small earth. Means this earth is even smaller than Venus. There are 9 planets, they are moving within their own axis, perfectly within their own axis as well, and also around the sun simultaneously. These idiots think that a small ball, like the Mother Earth, is the center, and the earth sun moves around this Mother Earth. Means where we live, we call mother. Everything is mother because it keeps the body alive for us. But they don't call it mother. They are the rapists. They are colonizers, control freak. They look at this Mother Earth as a rapist of resources. And by murdering, by intimidation, by hate, by vulgarism, the Bible is full of those vulgar people like David type of Christ. Grab any woman or do anything. So as the Old Testament copy was Means Quran is the copy of the Old Testament. The basic ideology of Quran is from the Old Testament. And they are doing the same thing. But thereafter, it became more cruel to humans, more cruel, more dangerous. Quran started adding a lot of wrong things under these kind of mullahs and writers to kill, murder infidels, and they start doing all kinds of incapacity as well. So they are very dangerous societies. It is very dangerous for human consciousness, and this is what you have to look into. And nobody should allow in India to have these conversions take place. If they are doing it, they are defeating the India's Declaration of Freedom that took place in 1947. And that democratic trees, basic, they have to understand, Satyam Jayate. Everything is based on the Vedic Hindu natural laws. Now I ask every Christian, I ask every Muslim, could you live without air? Who created this air? Now those 9 planets, when it was created at the time of creation, 155 trillion years ago by Lord Krishna, means who is Om. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 17 you can read that Lord Krishna, when he appears, he is the same Lord who appears at different time, millennium after millennium, wherever religious practices take place. I advent myself millennium after millennium to analyze the miscreants and to re-establish the principles of religion and to deliver the pious. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. And then he also says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 17 that I am the father, I am the mother, I am the grandsire. I am the syllable Om. I am the support of this universe. And I am the purifier. I am the Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda. He is the father, he is the mother. He is the mother and father for all human beings. These guys come over there, Jesus is the Son of God, this is what they keep on talking, but they don't know he is the Father. He comes and sat down somewhere on this. They even don't know the meaning of Father. They have no understanding who is the Father, but just imaginative. Everything turned out to be imaginative. They don't know. But Jesus himself said to his disciple, he has many things to speak. Before he was going to be crucified, he spoke these words. He said, he has many things to speak. The thy name of his Father. He wanted to reveal the name of his Father while he was crucified. Anyway, regardless of that, he lived 17 years in India from the age 13 through 29 in one of the caravan. He ended up in Jagannath Puri, where under the guidance of Brahmin he studied Bhagavad Gita. There are about 10 verses in Bible which has been taken out from Bhagavad Gita out of context. And it is in my book, The Ecological Imbalance, and in another book also, The Ultimate Guide for World Peace. The Ultimate Guide for World Peace, you can go and get it in Amazon.com, and you will find out the crucifixion or falsification. After 17 years later, at the age of 29, when he went to Jerusalem, he was opposed by all the demons over there, and naturally he could not pass down the signs of the consciousness, so he mixed up all confusion to make his name and fame, manifestation of his name and fame all over. So he compromised with the fishermen, and those fishermen he multiplied. He may have some kind of formula. Even today there are a lot of formula down over there where they multiply cockroaches and then those sprayer, those get the business. This is how many things are happening, but I'll tell you all those things later on. I've given this information in the past about how they sell their sprays, chemical sprays to kill cockroaches, but their system of multiplication also they do. Well, so those fishermen, he joined the fishermen and multiplied the fishes. So all those fishermen those dumb fishermen were so happy. Oh, Jesus knows he multiplied. So it's a miracle. You think to kill a fish alive is a very good miracle? He should have told those fishermen to get out from that dirty profession. Look how bad smell comes from fish, and it has mercury, and that mercury is very dangerous for the health. In 80s, in the United States of America, many doctors were speaking, do not eat salmon fish, and fish also, because salmon contains more mercury, and the mercury in your thermometer is very dangerous. If you eat, it can kill you. Mercury is very dangerous, and the mercury is found in fish. And when you eat every day the fish, there is a metal which is going into your brain, in your blood. They are not going to tell you all this thing because they are making a lot of money by this Parkinson and Alzheimer diseases and all this thing, which locks up their brains because the metal goes into the blood. So these are the things that are happening. So they are eating a lot of fish, and they have become so stupid and adamant that because Jesus caught the fish and multiplied them, it's a miracle. So today Atlantic Ocean base is emptied out of fish. And these tsunamis are taking place. They do not understand care of the Mother Earth or nature laws for their future. They are only interested in selfish nature. But Jesus cannot die for your sin. Can you eat for me? You give me the answer. Can anyone who is hungry, can he go to next person whose stomach is full and belly is now coming out, a fat guy, and say, hey, man, your belly is full. A fat man, give me your belly. I'm hungry. Is it possible? These stupid people make the life so easy for everybody that without doing any righteous action, you just are sick. And everybody is sick. How is it possible? Consciousness is different. The free will is there. A person with a free will is going to do whatever he wants. So you mean to say a criminal is the same? A robber is the same? A rapist is the same? A good person is the same? Now just think about it. Everybody has a different level of consciousness. And now you are saying that Jesus Christ, you just say, I believe in Jesus, and then all of a sudden everybody goes to heaven. But they don't know the meaning of heaven even. They don't have any astrological books, astronomical books. They burned those books. Alexandria Library, when they went to Europe, all the academic schools were burned. From Spain, all the scientists were chased out. Mathematicians were killed, burned. Philosophers were murdered. And all the academic schools were shut down. Average was also killed or chased out. So these are the situations of these people. They don't believe in science. You understand this point loud and clear. Hey, judges of India. Hey, leaders of India, wake up. They don't believe the Bible is against the science. Because the Old Testament is very clearly says the earth is flat. You think the earth is flat? Or will you consult the NASA? How the NASA came, I'm going to speak to you in a few minutes. So don't get surprised that link with them, this country of America, with Christianity. Christianity has nothing to do with it. They were just burning women. 3.2 million women were burned in Europe. 32 lakhs. Because they believe in self-control, self-respect, and did yoga, meditation. Today you can see in England, Stonehenge, where they go each year, they call pagans. They were nature worshippers. They worship sun. And their sunlight comes at certain ways, and there are thousands of ancient people of England who were Hindus. They go over there and worship at Stonehenge. They estimate it's more than 5,000 years ago. And if it is 5,000 years ago, there was no Christianity, no Judaism, no Islam. They worship sun. And the sun gives you 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. And it maintains to everyone, regardless what these people believe, whatever they believe, whosoever they are, Christian, Muslim, Jews, or anyone, regardless what part of the world they live, cold or minus 10 temperatures. Still, the body temperature is maintained by our sun. That's why we respect. It's called one of the Mother Nature. And that's why Hindu respect the Mother Nature. Because our body will not exist without the presence of sun. I'll give you one example. There was a total sun eclipse about 15-20 years ago. In California, some of the doctors checked the body temperature of humans, and they found out their temperature during the total sun eclipse dropped 2 or 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you just think about this. If just for a short time, hardly maybe hour or 2 hours, the total sun eclipse lasted, what happened? The human body temperature started dropping. Now if this sun suddenly disappears, was not here, what will be the consequences of this Mother Earth? This temperature will drop minus 800 degrees Fahrenheit. And no life can exist. They have to understand that this Mother Earth, when it came with the sun and 9 round planets, perfectly round. And even today they are moving around the sun. NASA Space Research have already shown you these pictures, which were ancient Hindu science. They took all those planetary systems and changed the names. Mangal become Mars and all these things. Saturn become Sunny. And from Sunny they become Saturn. They have no idea of these. This happened during the British East India Company. They filter out all our sciences and misusing the sciences. So 9 planets are still moving at an exorbitant speed. Like, for example, the Earth is moving around the Sun at 107,000 kilometers per hour, which is 67,000 miles per hour. 250 times faster than the jumbo airplane. And look at the arrangement of Lord Om. He is the creator of this universe, and this universe comes and go, disappear, comes and go, disappear. After 311 trillion years and 40 billion years is the time frame. And I was telling you that if you can calculate 432,000 years is for Kali Yuga. Then you can multiply it twice. It will give you the number of years for the Dwapar Yuga to exist. And then if you multiply by 3 times, it will become Treta Yuga, when Lord Ram appeared about 16 lakhs years ago, 1.6 million years ago. Now if you multiply 432,000 with 4 times, you will have a total time frame for the Satya Yuga. So all these 4 yugas, you add them, like 432,000 is Kali Yuga, 2 times Dwapar Yuga of 432,000, 3 times is Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga of 432,000, and 4 times of 432,000 is your Satya Yuga. You add these and multiply by 1,000, that becomes 1 kalp, 1 day of Brahma. Multiply by 365, it becomes 1 day of Brahma, of the number of years of the planet Earth years. And then you multiply that by 100 years, and that will become the total time frame of this present universe, lasting 311 trillions and 40 billions, which is not even a flash of light. When you see during thunderbolts, all this, and light flash out from your eyes, in comparison to eternity time, I'm talking about. These comes and go. Eternity time, you cannot even calculate. It's timeless. Now, those are the things we have to understand. So if this universe has been there for this much, so you think some idiot would come and go against your own consciousness? What Jesus tells his disciple, he says, do not worry on your conscience. Understand? He's talking about consciousness. He knows the consciousness, but he overrules the consciousness. He says, do not worry on your conscience. Eat whatever found in the meat market. He is telling his disciples. He's telling his disciples, eat legs, fingers, eyes, hair, ears, thighs, toes, all kinds of junk, stomach, inside organs. You think this is what the God is supposed to tell? Or they say he is the Son of God, exclusive Son, begotten Son. My Gurudev, he speaks when he was challenged by these people, when he had come at the age of advanced age, 70 in the United States of America, and he guided these people that animals are your brothers. One should not kill these holy cows. Now here is the situation. Whenever he was giving his discourse of Bhagavad Gita, these Christian missionaries would enter and try to challenge him and would say that Jesus is the begotten Son. So one day he says, yes, he is a begotten, he is the Son of God. So you are also Son of God. So is a dog is a son of God. So is a dog eater is a son of God. Chandal is also son of God. This is what he says. He says everyone is son of God. You are also son of God. He is not just a begotten one only son when trillions of people, zillions of people have passed away in 155 trillion years of the making of this universe has been in existence. And they are trying to say that they had to wait 155 trillion years to listen to this Moses or Joe or Muhammad. What the heck? And they are all opposing the laws of nature. Every bit of this, their own consciousness. Jesus himself opposed that. He knew the reasoning of the consciousness, but he overruled. Just like a police officer. If he overrules any law, he is going to be arrested. Is it not? Ask any police officer. He has to abide by the laws, and within the laws he has to make arrest or speak. But he cannot go overrule. This is what Jesus did. He overruled the laws of nature. This has to be understood. Otherwise, let me ask you one question. If all these things were so, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of mind, and freedom to the scientists, freedom to the astronomers, freedom to the women, freedom to astrologers and all those people, why the United States of America had to go through to establish the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, if all the freedoms were given by these mob Christian minds under the inquisitors of the Vatican Church, who had mass butchered humans throughout this planet. For example, in Mexico, 24 million Mexicans were murdered under the orders of Pope Innocent VIII. Millions of native Indians were burned alive. Even Jews were burned alive and fined by the inquisitors. Go and read those histories by Dr. Marable Manning. Dr. Marable, M-A-R-A-B-L-E, Manning, the political scientist of history in Boulder, Colorado, B-O-U-L-D-E-R, Boulder, Colorado. Dr. Manning articles appeared many times, many years ago, and he explained how the Afros were brought in slaves in those ships, and the pictures of those ships are there in the museums. You can see it, how they were crowded, and those people who were in the Atlantic voyage, who got sick, they were tossed out in the ocean. This is how merciless these demons are. These merciless boys. That's why the America went to war with the Lincoln. Because the first time, now you will say the forefathers, why they did not do all this freedom and all this. The slavery was going on before the Declaration of Independence. The women had no right. They were in fact were put in cages as witches before the U.S. Declaration of Independence. I'll give you one example. You go into Salem, Massachusetts. There are cells out there where women are put into those small cells and they are mistreated very, very bad. How they were two witnesses, and here a woman is caught in a small cell where they could not turn around. The water reservoir water around that museum, you can go, it's a museum now, used to rise up to their knees. And the cold climate of Massachusetts, Salem, S-A-L-E-M, Salem, Massachusetts, you can Google search and find out Witchcraft Museum. The water froze, the water was up to their knees and froze and they died. This is how cruel these people are. You think you should bring this kind of attitude, who are so hateful, so dangerous to humanity. This itself they reflect that they are forcing for you to eat. And here Lord Krishna's arrangement, by the arrangement of Om, who is the same. When the kittens are born, look at his mercy. The mother breast of the cat breasts are filled with, mother cat breasts are filled with milk. And when the puppies are born, the mother dog breasts are filled with milk. Is he out there trying to kill them and eat them? But here these so-called God and goddesses and all kinds of stupid people are misguiding the humanity, and their messiahs are telling that go and kill these animals and eat them whenever you want. Allah and this Moses are telling how to hang the holy cows upside down and eat them. What are these people doing harm to this Mother Earth? And the carbon molecules are increasing. As I already explained, that when you eat these animals, the carbon molecules is the main reason for the environmental damage. That's the main issue. And they are doing very serious harm to the Mother Earth for the existence of all the humans. And the Bible should be stopped further circulation. And so is the Quran. These books are very dangerous for the humanity and for their own existence, because they are always bringing wars. Now why it is happening, I already explained to you about Pythagoras. He spoke very clearly that as long as people continue to murder their two most benign friends, the cow and the bull, they will suffer perpetually, major for major. The karmic reaction in the form of catastrophic wars, criminal violence, environmental means famine and population explosion, and all these kind of nature devastation taking place. Bhagavad Gita you must read. I will tell you about the consciousness. These altered consciousness is not good for humanity, because it is leading them to the animal kingdom. Because your body is made of same 5 elements, water, fire, air, ether, and earth, what the animals have. They are eating, sleeping, defending, so these animals have a life. These idiots refuse to accept that animals have soul. They are telling animals are soulless. So ask them if they have soul, because that's the reason why they eat them. They don't want to do agriculture. They want to rape the resources to steal the money and fill their pocket in trillions of billions of dollars by constantly raping the planet Earth. And there's only few people on this planet Earth whose aim is just to control the entire wealth by digging out everything from Mother Earth. And they will never be satisfied. Common people are still suffering. Millions of people are going through famine and dying of hunger. They don't care. This is what is happening. They only care how much land they can control, and that is what they are doing. And they are happy by the number, how many people they converted. They're not looking for the quality, how many people they converted, and they think by having majority, everybody is becoming a dog, so they will go to heaven. But that's not the case. It is the individual soul whose consciousness matters. And if they are misbehaving, they are going to hell. As I already explained to you, 26 hellish planets, 9 other planets, and sun and moon, everything came at the time of creation. So there are 26 hellish planets are also existing. By closing the eyes, it does not mean the sun will disappear. Or by putting a lot of fragrant flowers over the foul-smelling garbage, you will never escape. You will never escape the foul smell, regardless how much you cover your nostril with mask, double mask or triple mask, because that foul-smelling garbage has to be burned. That has to be understood. Satyame Jete, you speak, but you follow the real Hindu science of Satyame Jete, truthfulness, mercifulness, austerity, and mercy. You don't have mercy when a person is cruel to animals, he is cruel to humans, and these people are telling how to eat animals. So they have to be straightened up. Now another thing, In the marriage party, Jesus' mother says, go and make wine to his son. And the son says, hey women, what do I have to do with you? This is how they talk to their mother. Look at our mother, Durga Mata, how we respectfully talk. How we respectfully talk to our mothers. We don't call mother 50% like Muhammad taught that the women are 50%. They are our mothers and sisters and daughters. We must learn to respect them. We are not talking about putnas and we are not talking about supnakas. We are talking about women. The motherhood, womanhood. And Hindus is the only country, Hindus are the only one who respect the mothers. Mother are our main source of powers. For example, the department head of the army is Durga Mata. Look how much we have given the respect and honor to the womanhood. The Saraswati Mata, the education department head. Because the child is born, the mother is the first one to teach the baby. That's the science. The mother is the one. You don't bring the demonic mothers who are eating animals like putnas and all kinds of dangerous women. You have to learn to be mother. What is the value of mother? Mother is the greatest gift. But if the mother is demon, she's never supposed to give birth to any babies because she will guide the misguide people and the demons will be multiplying. Then you have to have Mata Kali to come and clean these demonic people. Mata Kali is the one who fought against these demons which were multiplying fast. So this is mother. Now we have Lakshmi Mata, the department head of the finance. That's a mother. So how many mothers we have? Let's go and find out. This is how many thousands of temples in India are worshipping mothers, and they hate because they want those women as concubines, girlfriend, have love affairs constantly with one to the next, and their divorce is going on. And this is what you want in India. Those leaders, I'm telling you, listen, you have to ban these kind of irreligious practices because they are against your democratic system. And this is also for the United States of America. I'm telling that don't encourage Christianity anymore. Because if they come and took power, they will destroy again and then take you to boonies, and there will be no NASA space or no research center, no scientists, no educators, no medical profession. There will be only one thing, just burn the astronomers, burn the scientists, burn the women as witches and all this. This is what they are going to do. So understand, my friends, that we must perfectly implement the laws of nature, the Sanatana Dharma universal science, and that is what the principles of the United States stand on. And they must also understand, and it is the duty of Hindus or anyone to make sure that the United States US Declaration principle of laws of nature and nature's gods are reminded constantly to the public what was the reason for the basis of their freedom, so that these gurus do not come and try to take a control on the complexion and all kinds of ideologies which are very dangerous to the United States of America, its progress, and so is very dangerous to any democratic system. All these European democracies were founded after the United States of America's democracy in July 4th, 1776, by the noble forefathers of the United States of America. They were called the deist, nature worshipper, and they did not like Bible. For example, Thomas Jefferson says, the one who wrote the US Declaration of Independence, he says one day this Bible will be shoved in the mineral of the Jupiter. Mark Twain, who was a famous writer and historian, he wrote over 100 years ago that those books were opened after 100 years later, about 10 or 12 years, 15 years ago, something like that, by public broadcasting service. And we found out in the information what he wrote. He had locked up some of his material, what he wrote, and expected them, whosoever in museum they were supposed to be archived, to open it after 100 years later. And those books, when they were opened, it says very clearly that if you want your children to have morals, understand, if you want your children to have morals, it is better you don't bring the children close to Bible. And this guy is trying to corrupt the mind, the one who is taking this Hindu guy to court, and the court people will be paid money, and they must stop this man's aggression against this Hindu, because he has no right to convert to such kind of filthy ideologies which will bring the morals of our children to hell and to make them become dogs like wild dogs, or fighting with hyenas in jungle, because everything has sold. The life comes from life. So why I say your body is not carnivorous. A wolf eats the animal, humans don't eat the animals, because Cow will not eat the animals. Cow had a mad cow disease when these idiots had mixed the cow's feet with dry animal parts, and cow didn't know it. But by nature law, by universal laws, the cow is strong, is strictly vegetarian. She's not supposed to eat animals. That's the body system. These idiots have to understand. And so what happened in England? They did the experiment by mixing the dead bodies of the animals and scrappy and all bones, dried them up and mix it with the cow feed. And what happened? The cows started falling and got sick. And when they eat those cows, it becomes mad cow disease, just like coronavirus. The coronavirus eat animal protein. When they cut the animal, the coronavirus becomes airborne and goes to your body system in the stomach, sits down over there near the air tunnel, which meets with the stomach, and it becomes a heaven for animal protein eater coronavirus. Just like you eat animal protein, you will go to these kind of viruses in the next life or become dog. Because your body is not made dissimilar like wolf. You don't have claws, sharp claws. You don't have sharp razor-like teeth. You don't perspire through the tongue like the animal eating animal perspire through the tongue, but you perspire. Perspiration comes from the skin. A dog has 20 tons strong acid to digest the animal flesh. You don't have 20 tons stronger acid. Your intestinal tract is not 3 tons of body length, so you can pass all that toxic waste quickly. A lion has 3 tons of body length, he can eat all the junk and pass down quickly all the toxic, so he would not have cancer polyps. But humans eating all these animals have cancer polyps. So they are creating an artificial medical system for rearing these people, feeding the animal, and making a big circulation, but the population is increasing so much that they are losing jobs and all these problems are. Anyway, it's a very long discussion. The main idea is that Christianity, Islam must be banned in India or in America also, anywhere, because their attitude is in the wrong direction. They are against the consciousness, and this is leading them to the hell. Those 26 hellish planets also came at the time of creation 155 trillion years ago. Nobody has been able to create any planet in the last 1300 years because the universe had been in existence 155 trillion years ago. If you don't believe it, ask the American archaeologists, and they will tell you that 250 million years ago, 250 million years ago, the dinosaurs were roaming on this planet Earth. So without Earth, could dinosaurs move around the sun? The sun is the sun globe is so big, 1.3 million Earth size can be consumed in sun globe. The size 13 lakhs and 1.3 million Earth size balls can be consumed in the sun. 13 lakhs Earth, and this is how big is sun. Now just think about magnetic power. If the sun can consume 13 lakhs, 1.3 million Earths within its globe, who will have more magnetic power? Just think about it. Scientifically also, logically, intelligently, with common sense. The Earth is not going to be the center of the universe. But these idiots burned the astronomers, Bruno and all these, because they told the Earth is not the center of the universe. They told the sun does not move around the Earth. Now, if the sun is moving just around the Earth, for example, let's say their point of view. So what will happen to the 8 planets? The sun is going to move around day one, second day to Saturn, third day to Mars, fourth day to Venus. What the heck? These people are talking nonsense. You can ask a small boy who is playing the top. Is the top is flat? No, the top, what children play lattu, they call it. Can you make a lattu round and round if it was flat? They killed so many astronomers and burned them just because it did not match with the idiot who wrote this all stupidities in the desertification under a leafless tree where the sand was blowing all around from his toes all the way to the head in a scorching heat, and he was seeing all these sand dunes which are flying and breaking another sand dunes so quickly. He got so wicked, so stupid, so ignorant. Out of that 130 Fahrenheit temperature, he started lighting whatever. This earth is flat, just seeing all sand all over. These idiots needs to be stopped, my fellow brothers and sisters. Otherwise, they are going to sink you in the hell, and all your freedoms will be out. They will be competing with Afghanistanis Taliban, who caught 14 to 45-year-old girls and women from house to house about 4 years ago when Taliban took over Afghanistan. They will be competing in the same fashion, bringing women into cages, calling them witches and murdering them. This is what they will do. They will burn them. This is what Christianity is all about. St. Xavier's destroyed over 6,500 Hindu temples. And then Portuguese came and they started destroying all the Hindu temples, gouges the eyes, destroy the temples. There's Elephanta temples over there, Lord Shiv temples were destroyed. Their eyes were gouged of goddesses. Now here we pray women as the mother, Saraswati Mata, Lakshmi Mata, Kali Devi Mata, Durga Mata, Bhavani Mata, Vaishno Devi Mata, Parvati Mata, Gauri Mata, Ambe Mata, Jagdambe Mata, Bhavani Mata, Gayatri Mata, Sita Mata, some Mata Mata. We have hundreds of temples. When we respect the Matas, we will respect the mother. If we don't respect the motherhood, you will never respect the mother. They will never respect their wife, because wife is a piece of meat according to them. That's why they have girlfriend, boyfriend, how much they have enjoyed. And those girls, young girls, are giving samples to these studs in a high school. And there are so many high school pregnancies. Do you want to save India? Then listen to me. If you do not want to save India, all those judges who favor this kind of ideologies, they are also traitors of India. And so is everywhere. Whosoever are going against the wishes of the forefathers of the United States, they are also the traitors of this country. They must respect and honor the U.S. Declaration of Independence.